Hey everyone, it's Dwayne here. Welcome to another episode of Snapshots from the Summit. 5 minutes of amazing goodness that will enable you to unlock the money vault, flip the bird at the 9 to 5, and ultimately slash decades from building wealth. We are on a roll today. We are on episode 2 of 16. We're going to be going into the new year with this baby. Given we're into the mid-December, just passed over the midpoint of December 2020. What a year. And some of the crap that's been out there in regards to conventional wisdom around the subject of money. We are going to dispel some myths today. And one of those myths is that the US dollar will always be the reserve currency of the world, right? The US dollar will always be the reserve currency of the world. Now, straight away you should believe this is suspect, because the question is, has the US currency always been the reserve currency of the world? And the answer is an emphatic no, it has not, right? So the odds are that the likelihood is that it won't be the reserve currency of the world, 100 years from now, maybe 300 years from now, when we're long gone. It could be something completely different. Maybe China is the reserve currency of the world. These emerging superpowers like China and India. Why not China be the reserve currency of the world? Why not India? Why not digital currencies? There's a big push in regards to digital currencies being the reserve currency of the world. One, because they can't be manipulated for a start, like Bitcoin or something like that. But the reason why the US is currently the reserve currency of the world is because the majority of global trade uses the US dollar because of the fact that it is the reserve currency. So currently, in a way, the US dollar is what you'd call a global currency because of how many transactions worldwide occur using the US dollar as its base. As an example, I live in Australia, and probably 50%, I would say, 50% of my online spending, purchases, investments, whatever you want to call it, is done in US dollars, and it's not by choice, right? It's because of the fact that most trade is done in the US dollar because it's the reserve currency, right? So, the big thing about it is that having your currency as the reserve, it's like huge prestige attached to that, right? But, we've seen, especially in 2020, we've seen the fact that even though the US currency is the reserve currency, if you've got currency as it exists, you can literally, print money out of thin air. This is one of the drawbacks of the fact that, this is one of the points that pitch towards things like digital currencies like Bitcoin, because you just can't print money out of thin air, right? Which is what the US has been doing for years, and we've seen all countries do this year because of COVID. Literally just printing money out of thin air, which doesn't lend to a reserve currency having much value, right? The fact that the US has their currency as the reserve, it gives them an unfair advantage too, right? Because, if global trade or your currency is seen as the global leader or the global reserve for all transactions, literally all transactions, then that gives your country a huge advantage over the rest of the countries that exist on this planet as we speak, right? But, like I said, it doesn't mean that the US will be the center of the financial universe forever. I mean, maybe there could be no reserve currency in the future. Or, like we've kind of alluded to, maybe another country, an emerging superpower like China or India, or maybe no country at all. Maybe it will be one of these emerging digital currencies that we see, one of these cryptocurrencies that we see, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, or one that we don't even know about yet, that could eventually be the global reserve currency of the world, right? So this conventional wisdom that we're dispelling today is the fact that everyone seems to believe that forever, which is a long, long time, that the US currency will be that reserve global currency. But it hasn't been there since the beginning of time, so the odds of it being there at the end of time are again just as slim, right? So be very wary of these things that we see as that we're going to go over the next 16 episodes, and we're on episode 2 now, so another 14 to come. So today we talked about the US currency being the global reserve currency, and that the conventional wisdom is that it will always be that way, but that's not the case, right? It has not always been that case, and the likelihood is that it will not be that case in the future, because there's so much manipulation that can be done with the fact that you can just print money out of thin air, right? Okay, that's today's episode. This is Dwayne signing off for the team here at Conquer Your Eris. I will be back with episode 3 on the next episode of Snapshots from the Summit. Till then, my friends, bye for now.